Hey guys, this is Sean from VS Marine, and I'm here to introduce you to the 2020 and newer Malibu Command Center and everything that has going on. So we're going to start from square one. We're going to start with the basics, and that would be our battery switch. So most of the newer boats, the battery switch is going to be down here under the observer seat. Some boats will have it here in the walkthrough depending on which model you got. But we're going to go ahead and switch this on. We're going to do 2 clicks to the bottom, which is battery 1 and 2. That way you're starting and running off both batteries, and the charging system is going to be charging both batteries. If you decide to park in a cove and listen to music, you can certainly isolate that to one battery or the other, but then you're just going to go ahead and switch it back to both batteries to fire the boat back up. So let's get started. First step here is going to be our power button. Just like any electronics, you're going to have a power button. The system will take a couple seconds to boot up. Once it boots up here, you'll notice the blower is going to come on automatically. It's going to run for 4 minutes and it's going to shut itself off. If you're an unexperienced boater, there is a video here you can watch on boating safety, but because we all know what we're doing, we're going to hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and turn that blower off so we don't have that noise. But basically, you have the 2 screens here and your sport dash system. That's going to make up your command center. So we're going to start over here. This is our main screen. It's always going to default to your controls, and this is your primary important switches. So the things that are going to keep you safe: your bilge blower, your front and rear bilge pumps, and then the only thing on here that isn't really a necessity but more of a comfort feature is going to be our heater. You have heater low, heater high. Any screen on this screen here is going to have an all off button, so no matter what's running, you can always shut everything off. Next here is going to be our lights. So all these boats have all different lighting options. Some have more than others. Most of our boats we have in stock are going to have this similar setup. So we're going to start with our nav. That's going to show your nav and anchor light, your interior lights, your storage lights, and your docking lights. On your docking lights, you also have the high beam option, which is also going to give you a little brighter at night. Again, we have an all off button. And then next here, we're going to get into the stereo. Okay, so the next option here on our 7-inch screen is going to be our stereo option. So we're going to click the music button here. It says radio off, so we're going to start that guy up. To pair a phone, we're going to click pair, and then now we're discoverable as Malibu and your number here. So we're going to go onto our phone, go to settings, and go to Bluetooth, and we're going to wait for that device to pop up at the bottom. And there it is there. Click on your boat, and that should connect. And then we're going to go here. We're going to go find some music, and we're going to start playing. So we have lots of options with our stereo. Obviously the joystick here is going to be our volume. We also have volume here on the 7-inch screen, up and down. And then we have our mixer, so we can really customize this stereo. As you can see, you can adjust your auto volume, so the music will get louder as you throttle up, or quieter as you throttle down. We have full control over our subwoofer, our tower speakers, our front channel, and our rear channel. That's really cool to me because the front channel, I like to hear my music, and generally my family doesn't. So I can be in control of the front 4 speakers, and I can still, as the driver, hear the music. I can quiet things down in the cockpit, and then I can turn the tower up for the riders behind the boat. So you have a lot of options here, a lot of flexibility with your stereo. Once you get that all out of whack and kind of crazy and you're all done riding, you can definitely always just go back here and hit your sync button. That'll flatten everything back out and start from square one. We also have a mute button here, so when you pull up to your rider, you can quiet things down so you can talk to your rider. Neat thing on the Sport Dash 2, click on the joystick, that is also your mute button. If you go left and right with your joystick, it'll skip music through your playlist. So you can go back to track or forward track, or however you want to do that. Also on this Sport Dash, if we click up and down, that will also change our cruise control speed. So when your rider is saying he wants to go a little faster, give it a couple clicks and off we go. Next here on our system is going to be lastly is our Android button. The screen has Android emulation, meaning that this screen is basically an Android tablet. So you can go in here, you can connect the stereo to your Wi-Fi at home. You can download apps to the tablet. You can connect it to your Amazon account, download whatever apps you want, Pandora, Spotify, download your playlist. There's a 60 gig hard drive in here, so you can have all your favorite music on the water. Next, we're going to get into the 12-inch screen and everything. This basically covers everything going on with the boat and also everything going on with your wake. Okay, so here we are with our 12-inch screen, and like I said before, this is going to be everything going on with our boat and our wake. So this is what gives you all the control. Basically, just to start out, we're going to have a few things here. We're going to have all of our engine vitals here at the top. So you have oil pressure, you have engine temperature, and voltage. Across the center is going to be what's going on with your connected phone. So going to show you what tracks you're playing and how you're connected. Currently we're connected with Bluetooth. We're going to have a clock, and we're going to have our air temperature, our lake temperature, and our compass. So everything's right there at your fingertips, everything you need to know. And then from there, as you can see, that the screen defaults to our depth finder. So it's going to show us our boat. It's going to show us the contours of the lake underneath of us to a certain depth, of course. It's going to show us our depth and a number. But no matter what screen we're in, we'll always have our depth here. So you always have what you need when you need it. Our next screen over that I'm going to show you is going to be our ballast system. So as Malibu's always done, we have our quad tank ballast. Some neat features for this system is our new L-shaped tanks in the rear, giving you the ability to read how much ballast is total in the boat, including your plug and play bags. So on these two rear tanks, when you hit 50%, that's going to be 50% of your total ballast back there, including your bags. So again, Malibu always giving you all the customization you need. Basically, you can really set this up any way you want it. I can click these two tanks and I can click 50% or 75 as I did. I can click this tank and make that 100%, and I can click this tank and make it 25 if I want. So very customizable. If you're not that custom guy, you can always hit fill all, drain all, or stop all. But let's make it easy, let's make it simple. Our next screen here is going to be all of our presets. So these are great starting points, you know, especially when you're just learning your new Malibu. This gives you a great baseline to start out and learning all your activities. So if we have a left foot forward surfer, we're going to hit surf left. It's going to show you what happens to the wake when you do that. If that's the profile you want, we're going to go ahead and hit load right here. And what that's going to do is that's going to start filling our ballast tanks. It's going to turn our cruise control on. It's going to set our speed for us. It's going to set our power wedge to the appropriate level and also select the proper surf gate. So that just keeps it really simple. You can always dial it in from there, but that's a great way to start learning your boat. Again, there's all these other ones in here. You have wakeboard intermediate, wakeboard advanced, surf right, And then if you use the arrows here to scroll down, there's all these empty slots to create your own presets. So you can have Sean Surf or Sean Wakeboard, whatever you want in there. So pretty easy, and for me that's the easiest way for you to learn your new boat. Again, our next screen there is going to be our depth finder, which we already saw. The following screen is going to be our media screen. So some cool features on here depending on the options you picked on your boat or the options your boat came with. Our boat here is going to have our backup camera. That backup camera is also going to come on automatically when you hit reverse, just like in most of our cars. A new feature for this year also is the expansion tab, so you can make that screen nice and big. This is great for wake surfing. You can see your riders, you can tell when they're ready to go, and all that good stuff. So we're going to exit out of there. This boat's also equipped with the docking camera, so when you're loading the boat onto the trailer, you can see that thing go right up to the bow roller, and you know when you're locked in. Again, it's also going to have the expansion, but depending on your boat, you may or may not have those options. Other thing on here, which is great, is a PDF viewer. So you actually have your owner's manual here right at your fingertips. So anytime you're having an issue or a question and you can't get a hold of one of us, this is a great opportunity to jump into here and find the answer you're looking for. The other things we're going to see on our 12-inch screen, of course, is our tachometer. You can switch that to a speedometer here if you want, but you have the option, and again, very customizable. We also have our gauge screen here, and again, you can switch back and forth between RPM or mile per hour. This screen is also going to show us our engine hours, and as I showed shortly before, here's where you're going to turn your cruise control on and off, and you can go up or down with your speed here, as well as on the Sport Dash system. One thing I didn't cover on the Sport Dash earlier is you do have surf gate controls left, right, center, and up, down, and stow. We'll get into the power wedge a little bit here in a minute, but also for redundancy purposes on your cruise control, like I said, we can go up or down, but a new feature for 2020 and newer is if you click on our miles per hour here, I can now go, I want to go 10.6 and get some surfing in. So a few more things left on the new command center here. Number one thing, which I think is a great feature, is the go home feature, which is right here in the corner. Go home is basically going to get the boat all ready for you to go back to the dock. So after you're done surfing, wakeboarding, whatever you're doing, press that go home button. That's going to do a few things. It's going to turn your cruise control off. It's going to stow your power wedge, center your surf gates, drain your ballast till your tanks are empty, and shut the pumps off. So again, nice, easy, fail-safe way to make sure the boat's ready to head back to the dock. Because just like everyone, you will forget that the wedge is down, you will forget that the surf gates are armed, and this is just the easiest way to make sure that you don't forget. Also on the boats are going to have docking mode, and when you have the bow camera, it will turn the bow camera on for you. Docking mode is a good way for people who may be a little nervous around docks or trailers. It takes the sensitivity out of the throttle, makes it less sensitive, so you're less likely to hit the dock. So good little feature there. And then over here in this corner, you have your night mode. You have the option now in 2020 models to dim the screens using the sensor here behind the screen, or you can do it manually. There's your sensor there, or you can set it up in the settings to where you can turn that on and off manually. Last thing to cover, as with most boats since 2016, if you're surf gate equipped, you do get the surf band control. So with the surf band control, you're able to change what side you're surfing on, control your power wedge, control your speed up and down 2 miles an hour in each direction. and my favorite, the tower volume. So giving you everything at your fingertips and ready to rock out there. So just a quick little tutorial on the command center and how everything works. As always, we're always available to you at VS Marine. So if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, 805-466-9058. Thanks so much for visiting with us, and happy boating.